Japan is famous for many things: technological advancements, amazing food, rich cultural heritage. But did you know that Japan also has the most animal cafes in the world? These cafes gain popularity here because owning a pet in Japan can not only be expensive, but also homes in cities like Tokyo are extremely compact and often there's not enough room. At first they started with cat cafes, but today these have expanded to all sorts of different animals, and in this video, we'll show you some of the most unique animal cafes that Tokyo has to offer that you'll have to visit and experience for yourself.
The first animal cafe we came to is a micro pig cafe which is located in Meguro. We always pass by but never have a chance to come in.
Micro pigs are exactly what they sound like. Tiny little piggies. To meet them, you'll definitely need to make reservations ahead of time, and it costs 1,100 yen per person for 30 minutes and an additional 550 yen for each 30 minutes afterward. You're also required to order at least one drink per person as well. Once inside, we had to fill out a quick agreement waiver, then change into slippers, and then they led us upstairs to the rooms where we could finally meet the piggies. In the room, we sat down on one of the sofas in the corner and then waited for the pigs to come over to us.
We're on the 4th floor right now. I can smell something.
Pigs were so cute and wagged their tails like little puppies.
What are they doing? They're like chewing.
And even though they were actually not eating anything, they were actually constantly chewing, which we found quite entertaining.
I like how they stack together. Oh man, don't stack on him.
Don't lick my feet.
Why are you licking your toes?
The purpose of this cafe is not only to enjoy hanging out with these cute little pigs, but it also serves as a training place for the pigs to learn to socialize with both people and other pigs. And after they've been trained, they can even be adopted. As for the tired pigs, some just curled up and slept next to us, but there's also a dedicated room on the 3rd floor where the pigs can take a break as well. Lastly, if Meguro is a bit far, this cafe is not just limited to this location, there's also other branches throughout all of Japan.
The next animal cafe we came is an Otter Cafe located in Harajuku.
Harajuku is actually home to many animal cafes, with the typical ones being dog and cat cafes. Among these, the Otter Cafe is definitely a unique one and actually opened up quite recently in 2022. You can't make reservations ahead of time here, but luckily you can just walk in. The price for the visit is 1,600 yen for 25 minutes and 2,800 yen for 50 minutes. Before entering, we also had to wear a skirt and a jacket. This was not only to protect our clothes from the otters, but it was also more sanitary for the otters. And for those with long hair, they also asked us to tie them up in case the otters chewed on them. Once we finally entered, they led us to a room filled with energetic little otters and toys scattered throughout the room.
He likes playing with his toys.
This one in particular really loved chewing on this frisbee. The staff also provided us with some snacks, which we could feed to the otters as well. In the room, there were some sleepy and tired otters, and they would usually find a nice resting spot on people's laps and curl up and sleep there. We also heard that they have a separate room in the back for the otters to rest up as well.
Hello, hello.
At the end of our visit, we also had a couple minutes in a private room where it was just us, one of the staff members, and several more otters for us to enjoy in a more relaxing environment.
Bye-bye.
Next, we stayed in Harajuku and headed to another cafe nearby called Harry to meet some hedgehogs. We also had to make a reservation for this cafe, and it cost 2,860 yen per person for 1 hour, or 3,080 yen if you also want to get a bowl of worms for the hedgehogs. Of all the cafes we visited, this was definitely the most relaxing environment and probably the cleanest, but was definitely one of the pricier ones as well. To protect our hands, they provided us with gloves to pick up the hedgehogs, so no need to worry about getting pricked.
Are you scared?
I am. You go first.
Many of the hedgehogs were actually sleeping when we visited, and we felt bad about waking them up, so we generally only interacted with the ones that were awake. There's also dedicated areas in the cafe where the hedgehogs can take a break and guests are not allowed to play with them. And one of my favorite parts was actually feeding the hedgehogs, since they would first use their nose to smell the worms and then come over to eat them. The cafe also had a couple other animals, including a rare tenrec, a whole bunch of hamsters, including baby ones they were still feeding milk to, and even a meerkat.
Why are you smelling my feet? You like my feet?
And next up, we have a cat cafe, but a special cat cafe because there's a special guest at this cafe, which is a capybara. As with most of the cafes we visited, this cafe also requires reservations. The price for 1 hour is 2,200 yen and an additional 500 yen if you want some additional food for the capybara.
And this cafe also requires socks, so remember to bring those. But if not, you can pay 200 yen to buy a pair.
This cafe consists of one fairly large room with sofas and seating all around. When we first entered, we could play with all the rescued cats in the room. And then when all the guests had arrived, they finally brought the capybara into the room from her own private room. The capybara, named Ki-chan, which is short for Kikurage due to the fact that her ears resemble the mushroom with the same name, was so much larger than expected. Each guest was then given a plate of lettuce to feed her, and if you paid for the extra food, you also received another cup of veggies to feed the capybara. While feeding her, we couldn't help but notice her giant front teeth and found it really adorable that she would sit patiently like a dog waiting for her food. Ew, this is my least favorite thing in the world. And after she finished eating, she even set up her own bed on the stage to relax. Guests are then free to pet her and take pictures as they please. And one last thing to point out about this amazing cafe. As we briefly mentioned earlier, all the cats in the cafe are rescued. What that means is the cafe has taken them in, helped perform the necessary medical procedures, and then raises the cats in hopes of finding a new forever home for them. And this is the last cafe that we'll be visiting, and it's an owl cafe based here in Akihabara. And it's also the #1 rated owl cafe in all of Japan. Due to the cafe's popularity, you'll definitely need to book your reservation well in advance. And as we waited to enter, we could see pictures of all their owls on the cafe walls.
There's so many funny names here. Galileo, Oreo, Frappuccino.
When we finally entered, there were so many owls of all sorts of shapes and sizes. The cafe's largest owl is a Eurasian eagle owl called Takoyaki, and it weighs 3 kilos and is over 10 years old.
We have to whisper here because if you speak too loud, they will scare the owls. So it's not allowed to speak loud here. Whisper.
To pet the owls, they taught us to use only one finger and to gently give the owl one light little touch. Each of the owl has their name tag on the wall, and those that are taking a break are clearly marked as well. As part of the cafe experience, you can even choose your favorite owl and hold it on your arm. Didi chose an energetic one called Shirasu, or white bait.
It doesn't hurt at all, just like a little bit scared. He or she is very energetic, so I'm scared to move now.
And once the owl's on your arm, we have to move very, very slowly to not startle the owls. Oh my god, Gorilla just pooed. So close to getting pooed on. During the stay, we're allowed to select a second owl, and this time Didi chose a tiny little baby owl called Xiaolongbao, who also happens to have the same birthday as me.
She's only a 3 months old baby owl.
And then he threw up, but the staff told us that throwing up is actually natural and a sign that the owls are healthy because there's actually some food they can't digest and they should be throwing it up.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Xiaolongbao.
As for time to fly around, outside of business hours, the staff brings the owls home, where they have 16 hours each day to fly around. And after we said our goodbyes to the owls, we also received a commemorative photo with the owls that we chose.
It was so much fun.
And that's a wrap of some of our favorite animal cafes here in Tokyo. What does everyone think? Which of these adorable cafes are you most interested in visiting? Or feel free to let us know some other amazing cafes that we may have missed. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you again in the next one.